Welcome to the Blessed Children of God family. We are glad to have you. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you would like to join in on some conversations with thought-provoking topics, feel free to join us on Mondays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time and Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We look forward to seeing you there. Continue to be blessed. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday, happy first Monday of the year, and Happy New Year to everyone. I hope everyone is doing great so far. Please put a 1 in the chat to let me know that you can hear me. Okay, I see some ones. Hey, Candy Cane. How are you? So before we get started, y'all, I want to check the roll to see who's in the chat. So the first person that I saw in the chat was my daughter Shanice. Hey, Shanice. And then we have Who Dat says she's in the bushes. Thanks, Who Dat, for being here and speaking in the chat. Then my peer SBK. It's a new year, but of course he's still working, but he's listening. Then we have beautiful Senna. Hey, Senna. Then we have Larry King. Hey, Larry. We have Janice. Hey, Janice. My girl Joe. Hey, Joe. We have Key. Hey, Key. We have Real. Hey, Real. We have Candy Cane. Hello and welcome to you, Candy Cane. And then we have Shadow. I hope I didn't miss anyone. If I did, please charge it to my head and not my heart. Better yet, charge it to my eyesight and not my heart. So I have the question pinned. Thank you, Senna, for putting the question in the chat. I pinned it. So the question is, does what we wear matter? I see a couple of people have already answered. Joe says, I do believe what we wear matters. And Real said, he probably said something crazy. He said it does matter what we wear. I have to make sure when I wear my 360 wave lace front male install that it matters. I knew he had something crazy. I'm gonna have to start reading his comments before I read them out loud. Okay. So I think Keith says, yes, it matters. Um, Larry King says, yes, it matters. Candy Cane says, I think so. A well fitted, nice outfit can boost your confidence and how you're perceived. Okay. Anybody else? Yeah. We can't. All we can do is pray for Brill. That's all we can do. Um, Anybody else before I go on? I'm doing well, Candy Cane. I can't complain. Thank you. Glad that you're well, that you're great. So let me go on, y'all. So I know that a lot of you are, well, I'm going to say some of you are probably my children's age, ages. And you probably, um, whether you're in public school or um, high school, I mean, public school or private school, um, you probably had a dress code. When I was in school, we didn't have a dress code. But I know that my children did have dress codes. They had to wear uniforms in school, which was great for me. So let me read some of these comments before I go ahead. Senna says, what you wear definitely matters. It truly does. Uh-huh. Okay, real. Who that says not only does it matter what we wear, but also how it's worn matters too. Amen to that. Key says, I think it matters due to your event for that day. Bill says, in all factual perspective, it all depends on setting and what part of the country world you are in. Well, we're going to keep this to the United States. Okay. Okay. Key said that you didn't have a dress code. Okay. Hey, Nestos. Happy Monday. Happy first Monday of the year. Happy New Year. I hope you're having a great day so far. So let me carry on. So with the uniform, when my oldest children, my oldest two children are less than 2 years apart. And when they were in school, in elementary school, um, that's when they started talking about students wearing uniforms. And I couldn't understand how some of the parents were upset by that. Okay, Key said you graduated in the 90s. Okay. So I was one that was on board. Um, I was one that was on board for for wearing uniforms because a lot of times um, kids get teased when they can't, dress as well as some of the other students or whatever. And also, I think it was mentioned in the meeting that it's a matter of security because if a student is in the school without a uniform on, that's a red flag. Either that student, um, well, usually, let me back up. Usually, when the student doesn't have a uniform on, they're not going to get through the front door. But this was before they had uniforms. So we were thinking that some of us were thinking that for security reasons, if you saw a child in a school with no uniform, the first thing you would think is that that child did not belong in that school. Now, it could be that they couldn't afford a uniform or some other reason, but initially you're going to think that that child doesn't belong in the school because the school uniforms help to identify who belongs. So I thought that it was an excellent idea to have school uniforms, although some parents disagreed. Well, when it comes to being in uniform, if you see someone and out in the community and they're wearing a uniform, police officer uniform, you're going to think that they're a police officer based on what they're wearing. Okay, Joe. Thank you. Hey, Shay. Happy Monday. Hope you're having a great day so far. It's good to see you in the chat. Real, I don't. Um, okay, you're talking to Candy. Okay. So yes, again, if you if you saw someone in a police uniform, you will probably automatically assume that they're a police officer. Um, Even though this is not going to be a political conversation, I can't help but say something about these ICE agents going around in masks and not showing ID, because that too creates a problem. If you see some random person approaching you wearing a mask, you're going to think that's danger, right? So I can't say I blame people for running away. And there have been cases where people have pretended to be ICE agents and kidnapped people and um, done some bad things because they didn't know that they really weren't ICE agents based on the fact that they looked the same way as some of these ICE agents are looking. So another thing I have a problem with is I know that there are benefits for having undercover police officers, but I still have a problem with that as well because if you, the same as with the ICE agent, if you see an undercover officer with no kind of ID or anything, you don't know that that's a police officer. And so sometimes you might resist or whatever and then get charged, criminally charged because um, you didn't know that that was a police officer. Hey, I said what I said. Happy Monday, Happy New Year, welcome. Hope you're having a great day so far. And also, if someone knocks on your door, hey, Lou, welcome. Happy New Year to you. So, yeah, again, if a stranger knocks at your door and say they're from a certain company or whatever, you're going to want to see some kind of identification to make sure that they are who they say they are. So I said all of that just to say that I believe what we wear does matter. So let's go to today's scripture verse in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 3, and this is the New Living Translation. It says, we live in such a way that no one will stumble because of us, and no one will find fault in our, will find fault with our ministry. So, with that said, thank you, Senna. We should not want to be anyone's stumbling block. And so let's get to my next question. This question is, well, first of all, no, let me do this first. Do you believe that leaders of the church should be held to a higher standard? Put a 2 in the chat if you believe that leaders in the church should be held to a higher standard. And when I say this, I'm speaking of what we wear. So, do you think that leaders in the church should be a representation of what the congregation should look like? I see twos, Key, Senna, Candy Cane, who that? I said what I said, Larry. So everyone seems to, yes, they are supposed to be an example. I agree. So, how many of you have seen the picture with Jamal Bryant's wife? Jamal Bryant's wife is co-pastor of New Birth. So he's pastor and she's co-pastor. How many of you have seen the picture that seems to be controversial about her? So Keith says she did, and she was embarrassed for her. Has anybody else seen the picture? So I don't see any other responses. So what I'm going to do is just go right ahead. For those who have not seen the picture, I'm going to show it. Give me a minute to bring it up. Okay, so here we go. This is the dress that Carrie Bryant, um, co-pastor Carrie Bryant, wore. At first, I thought that she wore it to church, but then I saw that she wore it um, to an event. I think it was United Negro College Fund event where they raised money for HBCUs. So Key says that she doesn't believe that a pastor's wife should dress like that. Senna says it's a beautiful dress and that it was just the wrong occasion. She says she thinks the dress is fire. So Real says that's a woman of God wearing that. I'm not judging at all, just making a statement. And Candy Cane says that's the dress I'd expect Beyonce or Sierra to wear, not a first lady. I said what I said, says I like the dress, but not for a pastor's wife, unfortunately. So I see a lot of you think that she shouldn't have worn that dress. But I was listening to just a clip of Jamal um, Bryant, and he was saying that he was defending his wife, and he said that at first I thought this dress was see through, but he said that the dress wasn't see through, it was one of those um, flesh colored dresses that makes it appear as though it's see through. So, yeah, who that said the dress is highly suggestive. SBK says he likes the dress. Okay. Um, Wait a minute. I missed the comment. Okay, this is what who that says. The dress is highly suggestive, but that's how she rose. SBK says he's sticking his head in the chat to say that he likes the dress. So Real says basically her body, her choice. So I see some people like the dress, some people um, believe that um, basically that's her business what she wears. So let me say how I feel about it. I believe that um, when you are in leadership, let's forget about her. Not not saying we should forget about her being a first lady, but let's put that to the side for a minute. So okay, Real said he'll go on mute. Hey Jamila, How are you? Happy Monday. Happy first Monday of the year. So, Jamila, if you see the picture on the screen, it's a picture of Jamal Bryant's wife, who is his co pastor. And there's a controversy going around about this dress that she wore. I don't usually get into those types of things, but I just felt strongly led to talk about this. And so that's why I'm talking about it. So, as I was saying, I believe that just as Paul was saying, he was saying that we shouldn't be um, anyone's stumbling block. I think if I saw somebody in the church wearing this, if they were newbie or somebody that's, you know, not necessarily leading anybody in the church, I think that if they continue to go to church and get into the word, that they will probably not want to wear something like this. Now, I do think that it's her body and it is her choice. But as I was saying about wearing a uniform, you have to be aware of who you're representing. And so let's get back to her husband, where he was saying that um, the dress was not see-through, and that um, everybody who has something, he basically said anybody who has something negative to say, it's because they're jealous. Well, I'm not jealous by any means, but what I believe is that when you are a leader in the church, you should be held to a higher standard. I don't remember who said that. Um, I think it might have been Candy Cane that said something about that's something that you would expect Beyonce or Sierra or someone to wear, not the first lady slash co-pastor. I believe that I saw somebody else who had a video and they were talking about it. They were saying that if he wanted to, oh, I'm not sure. Excuse, let me go back. He said that he purchased the dress. So this person said if he wanted to um, buy that for his wife, he wanted his wife to wear it, that he doesn't think that she should have worn it in public. And I agree. I believe that it almost looks like lingerie to me. So I think that if they wanted to have an intimate dinner or something and she wanted to wear something like that, I don't see a problem with it. But when you are a leader, you have to recognize that you are responsible for others. So other young ladies may think this is okay, or a first lady slash co-pastor. Now, if you feel that way, that's fine. I'm not here to change anybody's opinion. I'm just saying this is how I feel about it. Now, I don't agree with a lot of times older people, especially, I would say, especially older women in the church, expect um, younger women to be real old fashioned, that they should always wear dress past their ankles, um, no makeup, no jewelry, and all of that. I don't agree with that. I think it's okay to I think it's okay to wear makeup as long as it's not crazy, as long as you don't look crazy. I think it's okay to wear earrings, um, but I don't think that you should wear anything that's a distraction. And I think that this dress is a distraction. He was Jamal Bryant was saying that nobody's talking about all the millions of dollars that was raised for HBCUs, and I think that he's missing a point, that the reason why nobody's talking about that is because of this dress that his wife was wearing, which made this more of a topic than all the money that was raised. So Nestos had a comment. Let me pull it up. Hold up, y'all. Let me I'm gonna start some of these comments, but I want to read um Nesto's comment. As soon as I can find it, y'all. Give me a minute. Give me another. Give me a minute, y'all. Oh, wait a minute. Key had a real good comment too. But let me find Nesto's comment. Hold up, y'all. Y'all got some good comments in here. I'm starting some comments, y'all, but I really want to read Nesto's comment. And now I don't see it. So let me see if I can find it. She said that dress will lead people away from God rather to God, especially men and some women would lust and approach her in a sinful manner also. And I cannot disagree. I cannot disagree with that. Let me look at some of these comments that I highlight, that I starred, y'all. Who that says Alice? Oh, excuse me, y'all. Alice, I'm older than you. We didn't have uniforms, but there was a dress code. No pants, jeans for girl. Had to leave, had to have on stockings or socks. No cleavage or mini dresses. Wow. These young people would have a fit if they had to follow those rules today. Key said, I think the only dress code we had was our skirts and shorts had to be a certain length, but people didn't follow it. Um, Candy Cane said, no, wasn't it Jamal Bryant that got caught cheating multiple times? They might just move differently. Okay. Candy Cane also says, if the dress didn't imply nakedness, it might have been okay. I think if it was if it were all black, it wouldn't be as controversial. That's a great point. Key says she's not supposed to provoke other men. That's what she's doing, wearing something like that. Amen. Candy Cane says, if Michelle Obama had worn that dress, the media would have torn her apart. They made a huge deal about her shoulder showing. Absolutely, I remember that. Who that says she's the modern day Jan Crouch and Tammy Faye Baker. Okay. And Senna says attire is always a talking point. It's different for cultures and countries as well. So yeah, I was saying that I think that I agree with Candy Cane that knew what they were doing. I think that he knew when he even picked that dress out for her. I believe that he knew that was going to be controversial. Um, Overall, I believe that he has some good qualities. But one thing that I can say about Jamal Bryant is that Jamal loves attention. And I don't believe that this controversy, controversial issue about his wife and her dress is really something that is really bothering him. I think that he likes the attention, and I think he's loving talking about it. Um, I also would like to say that for real, Shay, I also would like to say that you have to be very careful of who you follow because some people may be leading you in the wrong direction. When it says, I think, um, who said this? Wait a minute. Jamila says, well, I said what I said. They do say, come as you are. Um, Hold up. I'm not fooling with you, real. That's what Jamila's comment was for. I said what I said. His comment. She says, I don't like that some of these churches are allowing the same attire as the club does. I think when women come into the church dressed like they're at the club, there should be something about that church and the ministry that should want them to change their attire. I think, and this is just my opinion, so, you know, um, take it for what it is. But I think that if you have been going to a church for a long time and that you are um, trying to follow Christ, if you are continuing to dress like that, I think something might be wrong. So I'm going to pause right here. Yeah, it does look like lingerie, um, Shay. It does. Absolutely, Shadow. So I'm gonna pause right now, y'all, because I want to. I want whoever wants to come up to further discuss this to join the panel. But before anyone joins the panel, I'm going to ask that we be mindful that we can all sing together, but we can't all talk at the same time. So please be respectful to others on the panel and be mindful that we want everybody to be heard. So I'll keep talking until someone joins the panel. If no one let's see what I said. What I said. She says the come as you are scripture is really talking about your heart and mindset. Oh, we can take a scripture and we can make it what we want. Um, we when I say we, I mean people in general, because because we do it. People do it all the time. Um, that's how people are able to do whatever they feel like doing and justify it because they'll take scripture and they will make it, you know, twist it to say whatever they wanted to say. Hey, Candy Cane.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I hear you. Let me read this
Perfect.
real quick and then I'll hear what you have to say.
Okay.
Oh, Nesto says Jamal is also a preacher that's not led by the Holy Spirit. He has some other spirits going on and leading him. He just told Cam Newton he has some pretty legs. He is on child support for a child that I don't see the rest of the comment. I don't see the rest of your comment. I'm sure it was cut off, Nestos. But Go ahead, Candy Cane. Say what you have to say. First of all, welcome.
Well, thank you very much.
You're
Um,
welcome.
I saw this dress. Some another content creator posted it, and I think I came in late to the stream trying to catch it.
Uh
And
huh.
she was asking about the dress, and at the time, not knowing who she was, I was just like, it's a
Hmm.
beautiful dress. It fits her well. Like, I mean, I get why people would look at it and kind of be a little, have a little eyebrow raised to it. But by now, we've seen plenty of nude dresses, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Kanye West's girlfriend
Oh.
was completely naked.
Uh huh.
So like the dress itself was not such a shocker, but then when you add the context of who was actually wearing the dress, it
Uh
changes
huh.
the way that I see it now.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I don't think, I mean, it's not really for me to judge, but since this is a topic that you're having, I'm going to say I don't think that this is a dress that I would have expected a first lady to wear. My grandmother was a first lady of a church, and I know she wouldn't have worn something like this.
Uh huh. Yeah,
But
I agree because were you the one that said something about you would expect somebody like Beyonce to wear that dress? Was
yes,
it you or
I would
somebody
have,
else?
and yes, I did say that, and because I mean, Sierra and Beyonce have both worn similar dresses to it, so
Uh
like,
huh.
I think it's kind of, if I can't look at a first lady and tell her
Hmm.
apart from a secular woman, I think something got lost in the sauce somewhere, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Um, there should be. So I was talking about the uniform thing. Um, there should be something that lets you know something about that person. I believe that even though he said this is not a see-through dress, it says flesh tone or whatever. I believe that if you're not selling something, you shouldn't be advertising it.
Yeah. I mean, realistically though, when you look at that dress, that is a dress that, like, you can't control how people feel emotionally, but I would say that that is a dress that is going to inspire a little bit of lust looking at it.
Uh
Come
huh.
on, that's the
A
whole
little
point of
bit.
it, right?
A little bit.
A lot of it. I was trying to be nice about it. A lot of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think he has a problem with people lusting after his wife. I really don't. Hey,
Well, that's because
April.
he doesn't control his lust very well, but I'm on mute about that one.
Okay. Hey, I said what I said.
Hey, Alice. Hey, Candy Cane.
Hello.
How are you ladies doing today?
I'm doing great. I can't
Wonderful.
complain.
That's good. That's good. Well, I don't agree with this dress for a church person at all. Not even somebody that's sitting in the pews, child.
Hmm.
Mm.
You call yourself if you say you're a Christian. I just don't think this is Christian attire. It looks like you're going to a club, in my opinion,
Hmm.
or it's for what they call quote unquote going outside. And I just don't feel like it's an appropriate dress, especially for a first lady. And Jamal did say that he purchased the dress for her,
Hmm.
and so I don't know if he did or didn't because she seemed like she have a takeover spirit, and I feel like he's just trying to cover for her because she decided to wear this dress. He can't tell me that he was extremely proud and happy that she had this dress on. He kind of give me the vibes of when I hear him interview and when I hear her speak, it gives me it gives me the impression that she kind of runs the show. She run the show or the house, in my opinion.
Hmm.
And I feel like she went out and bought that dress. They probably had a conversation about it, and she probably said, um, she's gonna wear this dress anyway. So and now that the backlash, it's like clean up on L9. You know, the PR team have to come out and try to fix it, and I feel like that's what he's doing. He's trying to cover for her because she decided to wear this dress, and I don't feel like he actually approved of that. But he got to say he approved of it, just to try to justify her actions.
Mm-hmm.
And then, with him being as arrogant as he is, a lot of times he don't like to admit it when he's wrong because he got a little arrogance going on with his mindset. From the way I've watched him maneuver, because I don't know him personally, but just
Right.
hearing him speak in public and hearing some of the things that he say, it kind of gives me a little he's a little arrogant. Um,
Mm-hmm.
with his speech and the things that in his messages and the things that he say. So that's really how I feel about it. But yeah, she looked like she looked like a floozy in this dress. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But she do.
Would it have been any different if the dress was all black for you? If this dress was a solid color and you didn't have the new tone to it, would you still see it as bad?
Yeah, I would, because I feel like she should have had um a shawl on or something. And then the form fitting. It's too form
Okay.
fitting. Um Even just period point blank, even if you're a married lady, whether you're in church or not, like Alice say, what are you advertising for? You already have a husband, so what are you advertising for?
Right.
That's a fair point.
So, because it fits so close and it's so tight. So I don't care what color it is. I just don't think it's an appropriate for, let's put it like this, any woman any person of status or statue. And it's not classy, in my opinion, especially for a first lady. Now, if this was just a young woman that was going to the club, or either a young woman that was going to the gala that they went to the charity, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But it's the status of them. And if you say you're going to lead the flock, you have to lead
Mm-hmm.
by example.
Exactly.
You have to lead
I
by
agree.
example, and this is not leading, in my opinion.
I agree. You, to me, you are being somebody's stumbling block.
Yes, and hindrance.
Yeah.
Or you giving out the wrong you're giving out the wrong ideal of what's godly, because if somebody at church see her in this type of dress,
Mm-hmm.
how we are as women. We look at models and we look at clothing, used to be in the catalogs, but now we look at it online, right? And
Uh-huh.
we imagine ourselves in these type clothing, whatever the mannequin have on or whatever they're advertising. You imagine yourself in that same attire. So why wouldn't someone from the church imagine themselves in that same type of dress?
Right.
So pretty soon, a lot of people in the church, could be possibly dressing like this. And then him getting out on the him saying over the pulpit that he approved of the dress and he purchased the dress. So now, people that at the church, who probably wanted to wear something, that was, you know, um, provoking, or something that you had to think about, like, should I wear this or should I not? Now they should. Now in their mind they can,
Right.
So
because he
you're saying
approved of
the
this.
first lady gave the green light by wearing this dress, and the
Exactly.
parishioners might show up to church with something similar now.
Uh-huh.
And what can you say to them about that?
Yeah, she set the precedent. Yeah, she said it. She set the precedent. And so now it's okay, for some of the other women who wanted to wear something, that's a little bit maybe over the line, and now they're going to go ahead and wear it because he said it's okay over the pulpit. Remember, he said he bought it.
Yeah, what really kind of bothered me was all of the women in the congregation that were agreeing and cheering him on, um, but I had to think, well, he is their leader. He and his wife, they're leaders.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, who you listen to really does matter. Um, Senna still says she likes the dress.
Well, I
Says she
like the
found
dress too,
herself.
though.
She says it's stunning, but not the illusion of being see through.
I like the dress just as it is, but not for somebody, like I said, if you're single or you're young and you're single and you want to attend a gala, you want to wear this
Uh
dress,
huh.
I don't have any problem with that. But you're trying to be an example to people in the pulpit. You're the first lady. You're trying to be an example. If you're married, you don't want. What are you advertising for if you already have a husband?
Mhm.
So to me, that's like asking for trouble. That's like going to the jailhouse and just getting and finding and dating in that pool in the jailhouse. You date nothing but people that's locked up. So you're like asking for trouble because you already know it's a possibility that it's going to be trouble. This is going to be a troublesome relationship because this person is already in jail for X amount of crimes, right? And
Right.
sometimes you have to be careful for you have to be careful for what you ask for. Not just saying everybody in jail is just terrible or what have you, but 9 times out of 10, you use jail as a dating pool. Are you not asking for trouble?
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying.
Maybe when he said he bought the dress for her, or maybe he meant he paid for it. Like she picked it out, but it was his money that went to buy the dress. Maybe it was loosely like I bought the dress
Yeah,
type of thing.
and
Because I
that,
can't see him actually picking that out.
and even if that, and that's fine. But why give the green light to everybody else to say that that's okay? You know what I mean? Why try to
Yeah.
sell it to your congregation, in other words? Or why try to sell that
Well,
to the public?
I think Mr. Jamal Bryant is a questionable spiritual leader anyway. He's definitely had his fair share of controversy. So,
Mhm.
like I said in the chat earlier, I think these people just move a little different to begin with. So,
Mhm. They do.
I think that Jamal Bryant does have spiritual gifts, but I think also that his lustful nature um, is kind of holding him back.
Well, Kurt Franklin said he had an issue with porn too, though, but he don't display it in public.
But I've seen his wife. I've seen like controversial things about his wife, how she dresses. Um, Somebody said she had a BBL. I'm not sure if she did or she didn't. Um, but she seems to want to make sure that others notice her, and he doesn't have a problem with it.
Mhm. So they both like attention.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's okay. If it works for him, I guess that's fine. But to answer your question, it's still a no for me.
Hmm.
And yes, you should lead by example. And I wouldn't want to see my first lady in this type of dress. I'm gonna just throw that out there.
Yeah. But see, the thing that gets me is that she's not just the first lady; she's also a pastor. So sometimes pastor can be married, and his wife is not necessarily there as she's not as involved in the church
Hmm.
um,
She's
as
not.
he is because he's the pastor.
Right.
But she's a co-pastor, and
Right.
so. I really think um, she should really be leading by example because um, you can say I'm a first lady. I know when you were saying about your ex-husband, you said
Hmm.
God called you, he called me.
Yeah, he ain't said nothing to me.
Right. So there might be women who feel like that, but I'm saying this woman, she's that's not her position. She's a co-pastor, and
Right.
so she's leading the flock just like he is. And a lot of the congregation, they don't have seem to have a problem with it.
Hmm. Yeah, they were agreeing with them. I saw that clip that you were talking about, and
Uh
they
huh.
and they were hallelujah it and agreeing with it or what have you. But let me just say this: um, whatever I did when I was married to a preacher,
Mm-hmm.
whatever I did, I didn't let my right hand know what my left hand was doing, or my left hand know what my right hand was doing.
Uh
So,
huh.
in other words, when we were out in public, I played the role. I'd never I wouldn't embarrass him in public like that.
Right.
And I dressed the role. I'm not saying that I wore a dress to my ankles or whatever, but you can rest assured I was definitely dressed presentably and walked presentably. I walked the walk and I talked the talk. Okay. And so, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever issues I had with him, we did that behind, at home, not inside the church house or what have you.
Right.
Because what
Right.
I didn't want to do is discourage anybody from God, even when I wasn't going to church. Um, because I just started going back to church, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to tell everybody else, oh, the church is this and the church is that. And I'll be like, child, you do what you want to do. Everybody got to save their own soul. That's between you
Mm-hmm.
and your God, you and the Lord, and whatever's best for you, then you do that. Never would I want to discourage anybody from trying to seek the Lord, or trying to go to church or whatever it, or try to get their salvation together, get their soul together. I would
Mm-hmm.
never discourage anybody, and I've always told people, don't do as I do. Do what you think is right and do what you need to do. I just have some issues that I need to work out, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that need to be your issue. And don't not go to church because I don't go. I
Right.
never tried to discourage anybody from the church, no matter what. You have to go and find your way, and everybody have to, like I said, everybody, it's your job to save your own soul, and it's not anybody else's job to try to do that. But that's between you and God. And who am I to tell somebody, oh, because the church did this and the church did that, don't you go? No, I've never told anybody that ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I never will tell anybody that, no matter what experience I have or what I go through. I still would never do blasphemy against God at all. I just won't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you're playing in God's face. You saying you're in the pulpit. If you gonna talk the talk, then you have to walk the walk. And this, I don't think, and I just don't think this dress is godly. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's not something that I feel like He would be pleased with.
Yeah, I agree. I think even if somebody else was wearing it, I think it probably would be controversial. Even I mean, let's say any other another celebrity or whatever was wearing it, somebody might say something about it. Girl, did you see what so and so was wearing? Because people do it all the time. But to be a first lady and co-pastor, I think that's where people draw the line. Hey, Elsie, welcome. Happy New Year.
Yeah, because if Beyonce had this dress on, I don't think any star, you know, that would, be on the red carpet, if they had this dress on, I don't think nobody would say a thing to them. It wouldn't even be a thing, because that's what they try to do. They try to get attention. And I just think it's just, it's an attention getter. She's trying to get attention. And I think it's the wrong attention to get. And what man would want another man lusting after his wife? That is weird and crazy to me altogether.
Yeah, yeah. But some, I guess Jamal doesn't. Um, that doesn't bother him. Key says, "What if someone wants to go to their church to get delivered from a lust demon? They might have stepped into the wrong place, Key. I don't know.
Well, yeah, they're gonna be SOL following them.
Yeah.
Following this example,
Mhm.
they're gonna fall back into their trap.
Yeah.
Or whatever, if they're trying to get out of that, then they're gonna fall right back into it because this say that, with him um up there upholding this and taking the blame for it and trying to smooth it over, that's not gonna help your congregation at all.
Right.
It's not going to help whoever's trying to seek help from that because there are, and she's absolutely right, there are people that struggle with that sometimes. Sometimes people
Mhm.
struggle with lust and porn and all the deviant and all, with deviant things of the world. And a lot of things are deviant. Those are not the only two, but that's just what I'm
Right.
calling that. It's a lot of things we struggle with, but someone that's trying to get delivered from that, they're not going to be delivered. What they're going to do is fall back into that trap that they were in
Yeah.
because they're going to say that it's okay.
Right. Key says she will most definitely block that healing. And she says, leading people the wrong way, they will be held accountable for it.
Hmm. Well, Senna, I agree that some men want other men to lust after their girlfriends and wives, and that could be fine. But I don't think they want their wife to advertise. They want a beautiful woman, don't get me wrong, and they want a classy woman, but I still don't think that they want their woman advertising out there like that just so that she could get attention from other people. And if they are, then it's something God definitely not in the mix of that marriage. He ain't, the, he in my opinion, he's not in the middle of a marriage of someone who has that type of ideology or mindset.
Right.
And men may say that, but as soon as some man do something inappropriate or give their wife or disrespect them and
Hmm.
compliment their wife in front of them or whatever, then I think it's going to be a problem
Right.
personally. But yes, every man want an attractive wife and a classy wife or whatever it is that they have in their mind, what that they feel that makes their wife whatever. They still don't want other men to um look at her with those eyes, undressing her
Right.
with their eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think um if you have the if you have confidence um in yourself, you don't have to kind of, if you have if you have a nice body or whatever, you don't have to advertise. You can have a nice body and people can see that you have a nice body without you even wearing certain things.
Exactly. Well, it's just like your walk with God, right? What the
Hmm.
Bible say, let your light shine so that men may see it, right?
Right.
So if you got it, you got it. You don't
Hmm.
have to go out and, oh, I'm a big Christian and I'm this.
Right.
You don't have to say a word.
Right.
All you have to do is walk in the room and it lights up.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Absolutely.
I totally get what you're saying, Alice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I am gonna toot it a little bit, because this is just it's really not me even bragging or anything. It's just really my real life. I have gotten attention my whole entire life for one reason or the other. If it wasn't because of the gray of my hair, it was the texture of my hair or how I look. For whatever reason, I get attention when I walk out the door. Okay. But I never try to put anything provocative on to get attention. I can have on sweatpants and
Right.
I guarantee you any place I go, somebody's gonna say something to me that's complimentary.
Mm-hmm.
Even when, even I'm hitting almost senior citizen age and I'm still getting compliments when I walk out the door. And I don't even dress up anymore.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to church every Sunday, somebody is saying, "Oh, this and that and the other," and I'm just looking at them, and I'm like, "Y'all, these, the clothes are just old, and this is just what's in my closet. This is just how I dress. I'm not trying to do anything to get any attention. Even when I call myself dressing down, people think that you're dressed up. So it's like what you're saying. You don't have to do anything to get attention.
Right.
You just being just us being women, point blank period, we're gonna get attention when we walk out that door no matter what.
Yep.
Somebody gonna say something to you when you walk out that door. No, they're gonna, something, and that's just how men are. They're gonna be they look at you. They're hunters. They hunt all day long, whether they
Mm-hmm.
act up on a hunt or not. That's incumbent of them. But when most women, I don't know if all women, but most of the time, 9 times out of 10, you're a woman. You walk out the door, and if it's nothing that you just smell good, you wear nice perfume, somebody gonna say, "Oh, you smell good." You're gonna get some attention if you're a woman, one way or the other.
This is true because I've I think somebody else said this on another live or somewhere else, but I think it was Vaughn that said something. Um, I've like gone out um, and I didn't feel that I was looking my best, and I wasn't worried about anybody, you know, paying me any attention.
Right, mind your
And
own
and
business.
still, yeah, and still, there's somebody
Gonna say
that
something.
right. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't. It really doesn't matter
Mm-mm,
what you really what you wear.
mm-hmm.
It's going to be somebody um, that you're going because men, some men they just see the opposite sex.
That part. And I get compliment from women too.
Uh huh.
And it's not in that way, but some women are just, they'll just compliment you,
Right.
the secure women will,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if they, I don't know which way they, go or whatever, because I don't be paying people attention like that.
Right.
I be really thinking about what I'm trying to do, trying to make sure I dot the i's and cross the t's, and that I don't forget something when I'm out in public, because when I go out in public, I'm out there for a reason, and I want to make
Uh huh.
sure that I take care of what I need to take care of, so I don't have to get back out there again. And
Right.
you just be minding your own business and doing what you have to do. And people are just gonna compliment you one way or the other. It doesn't matter, like you said. And even if you feel like you dress down, somebody always feel like you still look good to them.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause some people like it when you dress down, some people like it when you dress up. So you can't really win for lose. You can't really win on that situation. There's nothing that you can do um to mask yourself, from society, because society is society, and everybody is geared a certain way, and everybody's going to look at you a certain way. And some people just have an aura about them, you know.
Right.
Fortunately, because that's not unfortunate, that's fortunately. And I just
Hmm.
say favor ain't fair. It just ain't.
Yeah. I just think when it comes to Carrie Bryant,
Hmm.
somebody said something. I don't know if I started, but somebody said something about she might try to be in competition with
With
Jamal's
Giselle,
first wife. Uh
with
huh.
Giselle,
Yeah. I think they kind of they have similarities as far as looks are concerned.
yeah,
Um,
but Giselle don't dress like that, and
yeah, I was getting
Yeah,
ready to say.
Giselle don't dress nothing like her. There's no reason. This lady got kids. She got a history. If
Hmm.
that's true, uh, go somewhere and sit down, ma'am. Just go be who you are, cause he chose you now.
Right.
And the way he treated her, that is nothing to be in competition with. Okay, what you should be concerned about is that you don't get treated like Giselle got treated. That's what you should be focused on, in my opinion. Because Giselle don't dress this way. To me, Giselle always dressed classy. A lot of people say she can't dress, but she's an older lady, and she don't look old. But
Hmm.
me and Giselle is around the same age. She's
Hmm.
close to 60, and so her taste is gonna change. And but her, you could tell that Giselle was raised, she was raised in the 60s like we were,
Hmm.
and everybody parents didn't let them wear halter tops and uh uh short shorts and all the stuff that you wanted to wear as a teenager. I know my mama didn't let me wear that mess. I wanted to wear it, but she didn't let me wear it. And
Well,
like I said, when I got old enough to wear it, I didn't even want to wear it anymore because I was raised to dress and to cover up and to be conservative when I dress. That's just how I was raised. So,
yeah,
it
I
just kinda
did.
stick with you.
I did wear those. I did. I wore
So,
the
you was
halter
fast.
tops and all that.
So, you was
But
fast.
no.
You was fast and you got a pass because, of what happened to you when you was a child, so they just kinda let you do what you want to do. You got your way a little bit. I understand that.
You know what? I'm not no comment. I'm
Yeah,
no comment.
SBK don't like it when I figure people out, He say, when I call you out or figure you out or whatever. So
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. And my cousin was able to wear those type of clothes, and I would go to my grandmother's
Mhm.
house and wear her halter tops and stuff. But at home, no ma'am. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
No ma'am.
I when I was younger, I was basically flat chested.
Mm-hmm.
I did have hips and
Yeah.
but I
You
was
ain't had no
basically flat
chest.
chested. So yeah, so if somebody
So it
was
wasn't that big of a deal for you then.
yeah,
But
yeah.
see, I wasn't though. I started out in a real bra. I skipped over the trainer bras.
Oh no, I didn't.
Well, I did, and they were too little for me when I first actually put a bra on. It was the trainer bras was too small for me. I had to go ahead and go to the real bras.
Oh,
So that's why 'cause my mom was like, "No, ma'am, mm-mm." And it messed my sister up because she was flat chested too, and we possibly could have got away with it, but with me being too advanced, and
uh-huh.
which I didn't have nothing to do with it.
Right.
But because of that reason, we had to cover up because of me.
Let's say something. Let me say this about Senna. Senna said something about her. I don't know what I'm not sure what Senna's comment was. Let me see if I can find her comment and then
Well, they were talking about
read.
her. They were talking about how she dressed and that she kind of dressed a little sexy, but it's classy. I don't call,
That's
yeah, I
what
don't,
I was gonna say. She's very classy.
yeah, she's very classy with it. I don't call hers.
Yeah, it's absolutely no comparison
Yeah,
with
and
Senna.
and,
Senna,
and, and you're still a young woman, Senna, and you don't have
uh
a
huh,
husband, so
right.
you know,
All of
uh,
those things, but she's
yeah,
very classy. So let me just
all right,
say that for the record. You do not look like a floozy Senna.
all right.
Um, So it's no, you don't have to worry about that. Abril says, Santa, you definitely dress sexy, but all the way classy. You
Hmm.
definitely don't portray loose. Most definitely, I agree, Abril.
I
Then
said
I,
she dressed with the illusion. Santa give you the illusion of it all.
right.
She not showing it, but you could tell him, it's the illusion of it all. And so I say
Mm-hmm.
keep it just like you have it, Santa. You good
Right.
with
She's
the
not
illusion.
advertising.
Mhm.
She doesn't
Right, right,
um have, anything on display. She's
exactly.
just and a good thing about that I like about Senna is beautiful on the outside and the inside
Hmm.
from what I see.
Hmm.
So
And your attitude matters a lot also.
absolutely.
Attitude matters big time because you know um you could be arrogant but still have a sweet disposition. And people wouldn't even call it arrogance. They would just call it confidence. That
Right.
word would change, and it would be, he's a very confident man or she's a very confident woman. It's all about your attitude. Attitude is
Hmm.
everything.
Yep, I agree. But hello, fear no mortals. Happy New Year. Thank you for joining. Go ahead. I said what I said.
Oh, that's all I had to say, Alice. I was just saying, I feel like attitude have a lot to do with a lot of what you even have on or what have you.
Uh-huh.
But Jamal is who he is, and like you said, he's always trying to get attention or what have you, and he selected the type of wife that he wanted, and so he knew what was gonna come with that territory, and so he rolling with it, and he trying to make it okay, and he want everybody else to be okay with it because that's the choice that he made, and that's what
Right.
he wants to do. So he want everybody else to buy it. That's all.
Right. I think yeah, when it comes to the question was, does what we wear matter? And from my perspective, it does matter.
Yeah, it does matter. And I don't care if you're in church or not, or I
Uh-huh.
I feel like you should be dressing age appropriate.
I agree. I agree. I'm glad you said that. I totally
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I think a problem that a lot of people have is continuing to have birthdays but never growing up.
Mhm.
And if you miss something in your youth, it's gone.
All right. You just missed it.
You know, you just missed it.
Mhm.
Sometimes I may look back and say, wow, if I had to do it all over again, I might have done this way. But guess
Yeah.
what? I can't do it all over again.
Mhm.
I have to live in the here and now. And
Right.
so, I'm always talking about being role models. And like you said, whether we're in church or not in church, somebody's looking at us.
Right.
But I think it's even more important when you are in church and in leadership, especially, that you are mindful of those who are following you because you don't want to lead anybody astray. And I think it was Key that said, what if somebody's dealing with something, especially that lust demon, and they come to your church where um, nothing but lust? How is they expected? And I'm not talking about in the congregation, I'm talking about the pulpit. How are they supposed to be delivered in an environment like that? And
Well,
how are you going to answer to God
right.
for leading somebody else astray?
Well, how you gonna answer to God and you not, and you're not godly
Hmm.
yourself? Because at the end of the day, the more you go to church, the more you get involved, the more you start tapping into your salvation, your soul, your your walk with God. Uh, the more you try to please God, you try to be more pleasing in God's eyesight, right? And so how do you go to church and continue to go to church and even in the pulpit trying to preach the word and nothing touches you, and the word is not really in you, the word is not touching you like that? Because it seemed like you would feel some type of way, going into the church house and just acting like you're not in church, or
Right.
or dressing like you're not in church,
You need to
or
be convicted.
yeah, no conviction, no changes, just staying the same, just being stagnant and being the same person you were when you walked through the door the first time.
Right.
Or when you walk, not so much the first time, because a lot of us grew up in church, or just
Hmm.
being the same when you walked through the door, when you became aware of who God was. Because a lot of times we
Right.
go to church and we're not really aware, we're just doing repetition, and we just doing what we've always done, right? We just doing
Religious.
what we was
Yeah.
taught.
Hmm.
But
Being
you
a religious
know
thing.
yeah, and as time go on, and you start really studying and then getting into church, then your walk ought to change. It should change. Changes should come when you go to church. You should start changing slowly but surely. I had on a dress yesterday, and I had on some boots that was above my knees, so basically everything was covered up. When I sat down, a little bit of my bottom part, right above your knee, a little bit of leg was showing, and I was like, I just kept trying to push that dress down because I just
Uh-huh.
didn't want nothing showing. Because I'm
Uh-huh.
at the point now where I wear these skirts, and I wear the long skirts now. I don't even wear the short skirts anymore or whatever, because I feel some type of way if any
Hmm.
part of my body is showing when I'm at church, because that's not what I'm going to church for. I'm not
Right.
going to church to advertise. I'm not going to church to show off anything. So I'm trying to cover up as much as possible.
Right. Let me read this comment from Nesto. She said, may I ask you all to pray for my niece and nephew? They just had a premature birth. It's their first baby, and the baby, undeveloped lung, has collapsed twice. And to add insult to injury, my nephew just passed away unexpectedly.
Oh,
Thank you. Um,
who said that?
Nesto.
Oh, Nestos. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Well, my auntie actually passed away yesterday too. The one that I was dealing with the nurse in the nursing home.
Wow.
Yeah, so she actually passed away, and
Yeah.
so I feel her pain. I really do.
I had an aunt that passed away Friday night.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So yeah.
Yeah. So
Um,
hey,
um,
we all
I
going through. Seem like.
yeah. I just can we just say a quick prayer for her?
Yeah.
Um, Father God, we come to you right now to lift up our sister. We call her Nestos, but God, you know her name and you know her family, God, and we just pray right now that you would touch every person that is affected by what's going on with her family, God. We ask for your divine healing. We ask that you will touch everyone from the crown of their head to the soles of their feet, God. We ask that you will let them know that you are always there no matter what. You have a reason for everything that you do and everything that you allow. And sometimes We don't always understand, but we still trust you, God. So we trust you to be with Nestos and her family. We trust you to be with, I said what I said, and her family. We trust you to be with me and my family and anyone else who is dealing with something, God. We ask that you will continue to keep your hands on all of us and that you will give us all peace that surpasses all understanding. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
So yeah, life is just life in y'all.
Hmm.
Um
Well, mine's is bittersweet because my aunt really was suffering. She wasn't really
uh-huh.
happy where she was located, because she was in a nursing home.
Mhm.
And with the things that's going on in the world, I'm really glad. I'm kind of glad that she's not here to see all of this mess that's going to be going on. And I'm really
Uh-huh.
glad that she's not here to be in pain anymore and to be, in the situation that she was in. But I'm also sad because she's my last great aunt. And grief is going to take over anyway anytime we lose anybody, even though we're
Mhm.
supposed to rejoice when people die and cry when they're born. Us as human beings, we do the opposite. We cry
Right.
when someone leave us, and we're happy when somebody is born into this world. So but yeah, I have prayers for everybody, for you, Nestos, and anybody else who's dealing with grief right now, and turmoil, and loneliness, and just everybody just really need to just try to just try to hold on, and try to make the best out of of whatever situation that you're in.
Mhm.
So that's basically what I have to say about everything, because we're definitely getting ready to take a roller coaster ride, and we definitely don't know what's going to happen
Right.
tomorrow. And we never have knew what was going to happen. We never did know what
Mhm.
was going to happen tomorrow. But we definitely wasn't in uncertain times like we are now. And so everybody just, just just try to live your life the best way you can, and try to do the best that you can with what you have.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with my aunt. My aunt, she's been sick for a while.
Mhm.
Actually, this is my mother's sister-in-law. She's married to my uncle, but she always called me her daughter.
Mhm.
But she was suffering for a while, so when I heard, I thought the same thing. I said she's not suffering anymore,
Mhm.
and that she doesn't have to deal with the problems of this world anymore. So for
Mhm.
that, I rejoice for her, but at the same time, I'm really gonna miss her.
Right.
So yeah, I get what where you're
Mhm.
coming from with your aunt.
Yeah.
This I still have one aunt on my father's side and
Mm.
three aunts and two uncles who were married to my aunts that are still living. And I don't separate my aunts and uncles by marriage
Mhm.
or blood because most of them have been in my life all of my life. So as long as I've been living, they've been my aunts and uncles. So when I say
Mhm.
my aunt, that was my aunt. She treated me like I was her daughter,
Right.
and so did her husband. So yeah.
Well, I tried to do that too, Alice, but my uncle's wife, she's a different breed. And and I tried to be nice to her and try to, continue on with the relationship, but it seemed like after my uncle passed away, she was really just, trying to get, really didn't want to really be in our family or what have you. But I had two aunts that was married in our family for 40 or 50 years, and they still act like they just got into the family yesterday. So they were always standoffish or what have you.
Wow.
And
Okay, Abril.
I was trying to be nice to her and trying to, still, because I didn't want her to feel like, well, since their uncle gone, they're not gonna be bothered with me or anything, or they don't feel
Uh-huh.
like I'm in the family. So I was still trying to include her in the family, but she act like she didn't really want to be bothered, and I'm just this type of person. If you don't want to be bothered with me, you don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Okay, I'm just not that type
Right.
of person that's gonna keep
Mm-hmm.
bugging you until you give in. I'm not
Yeah.
that person. And so it's just really funny that you said that because yeah, we're going through that also. But also too, my father's wife passed away too. They wasn't together,
Uh-huh.
but she still was his wife, which is my little sister's grandmother also. So that's a weird story, but nevertheless, I had to help her with that also. So,
Uh-huh.
I got to go to a funeral this Friday and I got to go to another funeral next Friday. And I was like, I am tired of being the Grim Reaper of the family. So, when I get through with these two, I'm gonna just try to come to my house, shut my door, and just try not to say nothing to nobody. Because I'm tired of all of this. And I'm always complaining about the job that God want me to do.
Uh-huh.
And I know you're not supposed to be doing all of that, but I'm tired of all of this. I really, really am. I don't want to be the Grim Reaper no more.
Well,
And somebody
he's
else need
gonna
to
get
get
your
some grief.
attention again if he needs
Yeah,
to.
I know, but
So,
I'm sure gonna try to hide, child. I'm gonna tell you
uh,
that right now. I'm gonna try to hide out in this house and just stay out of everybody's business and just
Kid, you
and,
better go ahead and pack, girl.
and see everybody on holidays only. I'm gonna try that. See how
Uh-huh.
that work out for me.
Yeah. Let
But
me know how it works for you.
yeah,
Let
you
me know.
probably you already know what the outcome gonna be, so I don't have to let you know. Because you know how it is. If when you got a job, you have a job. You can't run and hide from it.
Uh, I hope Joe and SBK are still here because I just had to say something. It's off topic, but I just had to say something about the live that they did for New Year's Eve. I didn't watch it until um when did I watch it? I think I might have watched it Saturday. I'm not sure.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Oh, but nevertheless, you watched it though, huh?
but but it was I was laughing at you the whole time. But when I want Joe and SBK to be okay. Joe is here,
Yeah, SPK in the
and Joe
bushes
said,
listening. He
"Yeah."
listening in the bushes.
But look, when Joe said 3 John, and SBK said, "We are not doing that." Um, I was in tears.
She said 3 John.
She said 3 John. She was saying, I think she was quoting the scripture,
Oh, okay.
and
Oh,
she
three
was
John. Oh,
coming
okay.
from
Yeah.
3 John.
Yeah, yeah. 3 John. Yeah.
He said, "We are not doing Trump."
Yeah, we were just still talking. That's we don't hold them up. No, 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 no. We can't do that. We can't have that, Joe. No.
I didn't get a chance to comment, but I wanted to say. So I think I was laughing so much I couldn't even say anything um in the
In the comments.
comments because I was just laughing and crying too much. But that was hilarious. Um, and I know it has nothing to do with what we're talking about,
No.
but I was still thinking about that live.
That was a
So
great show. I enjoyed myself
it
immensely.
was,
Even
it
though they tried to
was.
pull me in with all of that. And I was like, no, I'm not toxic like y'all. Y'all are the one toxic, not me. Don't try to put me
Yeah,
in nothing. My name ain't came up in nothing.
right. And
And
so I was agreeing with you. I was agreeing with you. I wish I was there because
yeah, it was a great
I was
live.
like,
I enjoyed it.
yeah, don't put me in it either because
You're right.
I don't have
Right.
y'all's problems.
Yeah. And SBK sitting back there, Alice, you see how he was sitting back there looking like, like he done stuck his hand in the cookie jar and done got
Uh-huh.
caught. And now he want everybody to, yeah, yeah. I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm not
Uh-huh.
in on that. No, sir. I'm not in with that.
Yeah.
You got in trouble by yourself. You going to get out by yourself because I'm not
Uh,
having nothing to do with this. Of
but
course,
I also said that I said that
Vaughn
to
just
say,
she just hops right on in.
right,
I say, see, that's
right.
why you stay in trouble all the time.
Uh, I said that also say if you didn't watch that live. Please go back um, and watch that live. And Joe said that he clipped he clipped it. Is it posted,
Of course
Joe?
he
Because
did.
I need another good laugh. So I'm gonna check it out. Oh man, I bet you won't get that wrong again, 3 John. Um, anyway, thank you for joining the panel. Okay, it's not posted yet. I'll see. I hopefully, I'll get a notification. But yeah, check out SBK's live, and thank you again for joining the panel. I said what I said, and for giving your input. I kind of didn't want to do this subject, um, but I kept feeling like I was kind of being pushed towards it. So,
Hmm. And I'm glad you brought it up because I really wanted to talk about it also.
hmm
Um, so I'm really glad that you brought that subject up because I feel like it's something that needs to be talked about in a, because we wasn't really negative or anything. We were just speaking
hmm
truth and facts. And so I know a lot of people were dragging her, and so I just hope that I didn't drag her because
yeah,
that's not what my intentions were, is
right,
to drag either one of them. But I'm gonna call a spade a spade.
yeah. Good
That's
night,
that
Jamila. Make
that's
sure you
all.
give the baby hug and kiss for me. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
that's all I know how to do is to
Yeah,
call a spade, and so that's a spade to me, and so that's not right. Um, I don't think God will be pleased with him or her, you
right,
know, because you're not supposed to lead your flock in the wrong direction.
right.
And
And I think that whether you agree with it or not, I think it's worth talking about.
well,
You
everybody
know,
else talking about it. Why not?
hey,
It's what's
yeah,
trending on social media. And so you can talk about things that's trending on social media, but just like we was talking about the dress. It's a right and a wrong way to address anything. And so
hmm
I felt like we addressed it in a nice, classy way without dragging her, just seeing the
right,
things, just giving the facts of what they are. And it's just factual and it is what it is.
yeah. I don't believe in dragging people, and I'm definitely not gonna drag anybody
Yeah.
on social media. That's
Right.
definitely not my intent.
I don't drag people, but I'm definitely gonna make jokes about stuff, and I'm a roast them. But I'm not gonna drag
Uh-huh.
them, and I'm not gonna argue with anybody on social media. But am I gonna tell jokes? Oh yes, I am.
Uh-huh.
Am I gonna make it try to? And is it gonna be funny? Yes, it's gonna be funny. What have you? But um, I'm not doing anything, like I said, I'm not gonna argue with anybody on social media about nothing.
Right. Yeah.
Even though MAGA be trying us, and
Uh-huh.
we have to try to keep our composure when we do that political show. But we're getting there. We're getting better. This week
hmm
we didn't address them too much. We just kind of let them say what they want to say or whatever,
Right.
and because they're entitled to their opinion as well. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
I try not to drag people, but I'm definitely gonna roast you though. I'm definitely gonna try to make it fun.
Killer Key said, I don't think we are judging her. She know for herself she shouldn't wear that dress.
Right, Key.
Yeah. Especially being a leader. That's what I say. But
Yeah, yeah. Trying to be you being a leader, then you need to lead by example. And so that's the
uh-huh.
last word I got to say about it all.
Yeah.
Lead
Yeah.
by example, Jamal and Carrie.
Yeah. But
But
again, I thank you for joining the panel and
well, thank you for letting me come up, and it's been good and nice being on the panel with Candy Kane also, although she had to leave.
yeah, yeah. So I appreciate both of y'all coming up.
No
Um,
problem. Well, try to
and
enjoy the rest of the year, and I'm gonna go down.
Okay.
And I will be praying for you and your family,
Thank you. And I'll continue to pray for you and your
as
family
well
as
as
well.
Nesto's family. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Nestos as well.
Okay. I'm gonna go back in the
Okay.
chat.
Okay. Thanks
All
again.
right.
Okay, y'all. So thanks again for coming to the first live of 2026. And I want to remind everybody to make sure you change that five to a six. Um, in the past, I know, it might be might be difficult at times to remember that it's a new year. Um, um, but make sure you change that five to six. Thank you, Fear No Mortals. Um, Key says she needs me to help her. What you need me to do, Key? What you need me to do? I'm here for you. Just let me know what I can do for you in another state. um, I love you all. Let me see who was here. First of all, thank you to everybody who came and stayed in the bushes, couldn't or didn't say anything. I know sometimes I've watched from my TV and not been able to say things in the chat as well. So I definitely understand that. And if you were in the bushes for any other reason, I still thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. I got you, Janice. It's not, you can easily forget to change that year. So I'm just gonna call everybody. Um, I usually separate the mods from um, the chat, but I'm gonna call everybody that I saw in the chat. Shanice, who that? My peer SBK, Senna, Larry King, Janice, Joe, Key, Real, Candy Cane, Shadow, Nestos, Shay. Thanks again, Candy Cane, for joining the panel. I said what I said. Thanks again for joining the panel. Um, Pelu, Jamila, Abril, El Cid, and Fear No Mortals. And I hope I didn't miss anybody. If I missed your name, please, again, charge it to my head and not my heart. Thank you all. Um, you say it was a great live, but it couldn't have been a great live without you all being in the chat or on the panel, um, helping to contribute to the live. So thanks again. I appreciate all of you. If you are watching the replay, please feel free to leave a comment so that I'll know that you were here. And thanks again for your support. Also, we should be back on Thursday at 4 p.m. for our second live of the year. Hopefully, we'll be back on schedule as much as possible. So this week, I hope that we can do it, start with the Monday and Thursday. And then I'm hoping that I can come live a little more. And if not, that I can at least do some short videos for you all to watch. But remember, also check out my playlist if you haven't done so already. I appreciate it. The support with that as well. We are getting closer to monetization. So thanks again for your support. And with that said, remember that God loves you even more than I do. And I really do love you all. Continue to be blessed, and more importantly, continue to be a blessing to someone else. I will see you all prayerfully on Thursday. All right? Enjoy the rest of your day.